What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Round 18 review for Supercoach 2021. This week I scored 2,192, which was definitely a below par score from me over the competition. Really quite ordinary. And before I get into it, I just want to apologise for not uploading last week. I was pretty much crook as a dog. I went and got a COVID test. We're all clear, but yeah, pretty bad cold I had, and there's no way I could possibly upload a video, let alone a podcast as well, which is why we didn't upload that. But we should be back this week. Hopefully I sound reasonable in this video and you guys can sort of see past. I feel like I got a little bit of a blocked nose, but not too bad. We'll get through it, I suppose. But yeah, look, we're out of trades now. I haven't uploaded 2 weeks now, I'm pretty sure. I did trade in Isaac Heaney as well. He was one of my last trade-ins, but I did another one on Friday. And I'm not going to reveal who it was, but someone that did guess who it was Jonathan. I think it's Jonathan Carr. He's a really big viewer of the channel and follows me on Twitter. And yeah, real nice guy. Gave him a follow back. Ripper bloke. I did post a tweet saying shout out in the video to whoever can guess my final trade-in in the forward line. And it was a super pod, less than 3% of sides, and yeah, he absolutely nailed that one. So yeah, good on you, mate. Thanks for always watching and tuning in. But yeah, we'll get into it, and this is what we're left with for the rest of 2021. Now, 2 injuries, 1 trade, and if there's anything that I've learnt from this year, one of the biggest things I've learnt, which I will discuss a little bit more in the season wrap up in the Swordplay Podcast, but that main thing would be no more GWS players, especially as starting selections. They just don't get it done, do they? Not one of them plays a full season, which is really disappointing. There's Lockie Whitfield there, the absolute burn man himself. He's burnt me once before. Why do I have him? I don't know. Josh Kelly had him last year, said I wouldn't go near him again, and he's done it to me again. Oh, he's bloody hell. I remember watching the game a few weeks ago, DR, and Josh Kelly did his ankle really early. Hopefully there's nothing in it, but it didn't look good yesterday. He was basically carried off the ground by a couple of trainers. He didn't have his foot on the ground at all, so that only looks like he's going to miss weeks for that, which is really unfortunate. And it was clear that Dustin Martin was the guy to go because, he's missing the whole season. Maybe Jally returns prelim final or grand final in Supercoach, which would be really handy for me, but I'm not in a position to trade him out. One trade, it's got to be Dustin Martin, and if I trade out Jally, there's no one I could really get for that price anyway. I don't have much. If I do trade out Jally, I've only got like $7,000 in my bank account, and that I think I can get Cam Guthrie. He's the best one in there, and I'm just not interested. So I do have my last trade target for Dustin Martin. You guys will see that in the forward line later on in the video. But yeah, defence held up its own really, really nicely. Look, nothing spectacular. Stephen May had an ordinary game. We can forgive him for that. He's been spectacular for us. But if there's anything I could change, it would obviously be Whitfield for Mills, who I know didn't play again, but it wasn't really his fault, I suppose. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy. If Whitfield plays, that's fine. That's a good defence. And yeah, in the midfield, not too bad either. I did butcher the captaincy yet again. I've done that so many times this season. And my biggest issue with the captaincy this week was I was too caught up on the previous history. Now, I saw Jack Steele's record against Port Adelaide, and to me, it wasn't really all that appealing. Look, nothing over 115, I'm pretty sure, in the last 3 times he has played them. Got a pretty ordinary record, and I just thought, look, I'm going to go VC McRae strictly because he's gone. I think he went high 140s earlier this year, and then a 160s, and yeah, he's got a absolutely phenomenal record on the Suns, so that was a no-brainer for me. And look, DR rants about the 125 rule. Well, I'm a little bit more greedier than him, and to me it was a 130, and I was just not going to take that 124 score. There was too much ground to make, and yeah, didn't that hurt me on that occasion? Clearly the C's on Max Gawn, who played Hawthorn earlier this year and went 176, and I ironically, I think I did have the captaincy on Macrae back then. And I saw that, and I promised I will never not captain Gawn against Hawthorn again. And, gee, that one hurt a lot as well. The rest of the midfield, pretty good. Bonapalli's having a little bit of a rough patch, a bit underdone, but look, he's been a spectacular pick all season. Zeret, it's all right. Look, the bloke had 39 possessions and 114. It's just a little bit interesting for me. A player that I'll probably avoid next year, has to be said. And, not a whole lot to talk about here. Clary Oliver responded, which was all right. JL had his, probably the best game of any Brisbane player on Friday night, surprisingly. They were just terrible. And didn't I get out of trouble here? So what I was originally going to do was probably what the rest of the comp did, and that was VC Macrae for Grundy, who Grunners also has one of the ideal records on the Blues. And, he was just, I think he was on 40 at quarter time, and I was just about scratching my head at that point and just thought, far out, I've made a really big mistake here. This is going to cost me. And I kind of just turned it off. I went and had a kick of the footy and, tuned out of Fox footy for a while. And then I checked my phone after the game and I see Sam Welsh on like 180 something, and I'm just going, oh my God, Grundy's going to be off his head there. I checked, Grundy's score, and massive sigh of relief when he scored 88. I can't believe that Gawn's 95 outdid Grundy. It's just unbelievable. I still think Grundy's a fine selection, but Max Gawn, I'm not going to start him next year, I don't think. There's that Sean Darcy bloke for Freo, and he's looking pretty bloody good. Apart from, I think it's his ankle that he's done. I think it's pretty minor. He's having one of the great seasons, and he's probably let's be honest, R1 I go with next year, and I think I speak for a lot of blokes in that department. Let's have a look at the forward line, and it pains me to say it, but it's interesting. It is very interesting, and a couple of very how-you-going selections, I would imagine. Look, Zeeble and Hall are just the absolute trio at North Melbourne. They get all the chips, the cheap kicks, and we love that. Massive for Supercoach points. Nick Hind, a bit stiff, but he's a fine selection. I'm still alright with that. And my trading for this week, my final trading, was obviously Dustin Martin out, and we went Shea Bolton, who's very cheap, got a break even of 60, and I think he may benefit without Martin in the side. Believe it or not, maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but definitely going to be seeking some junk time in the guts. He's just going to virtually do what he wants. It was good to see Richmond play a reasonable brand of footy, and they've shown that they're not completely hopeless. So, I think, and he's obviously trying to seek a bit of a contract deal. He's out of contract, so he's going to be trying to play his best possible footy. So, and the main reason I got him in is I can't get anyone else. I know there's Rowan Marshall. Jeez, I'm 9K too short for the bloke. Absolutely spewing there. And there's nothing I can do about it. So really disappointing. I was very close, but I knew it was going to be a tough sort of situation for me. But Bolton's fine. Look, he was over 500k earlier on in the season. He's not going to get much cheaper than that, I wouldn't imagine. So, I think he's fine. And here's the interesting one. The one that Jonathan guessed is Jaden Stevenson. Coming off the back of a 150 score last week against West Coast, didn't he look at home? I think he had 35 disposals, and he gets a lot more kicks than handballs. And I just thought, look, this could be the guy. Had a break even of 5, and I went, look, this could be anything. And I'm still happy with that result. You might be thinking, Spills, why are you happy with a 64? Well, I had Ollie Henry there. I know he scored 50. That's his best score ever. But he was, for the last couple of weeks, I traded him in, and he gave me a 19 and then a 20-something. He's just been one of the all-time shocking rookies at F6, and that's where I've been bleeding points. So anything over 60 is fine, and look, I'll take that. I think he's going to be, not too bad. Had a pretty underwhelming game. He started off really nicely, but just sort of lost it in the end. I think he had about 18 disposals, but 12 kicks. He gets his fair share of it, and kick to handball ratio is really Supercoach friendly. Just butchered it a little bit. what I do like about him is when he does get his kicks, he tends to kick fairly long. Look, you see a lot of 45, 50 metre hit-up kicks, and they're the ones that give you points. That's sort of how Bontempelli plays, and yeah, he can really hurt you if you don't own him with those long metres gain kicks. So that was my logic for Stevenson. Didn't really get what I wanted over the weekend, but I'm expecting a response because his last month has been spectacular. You can see of a 79.1 average that, that's fine with me. And we got Heaney. I don't mind this. I got him in for absolutely bugger all. I think he was about 40k cheaper than he is now. I made 30k. It was 350. So I'm banking that every day of the week. He served up a 91, I'm pretty sure, last week, which was, I'm happy with that. And then 86, another solid performance. And the thing that I really do like about Heaney is, like, sometimes he starts the game terrible. Like, he can't get over, 30 points at half-time, but he doesn't need much. All he needs is a contested mark and a goal. The next thing you know, he's on 70 at three-quarter time. So it doesn't take much for him to get into the game, and if he kicks any more than 2 goals, you're guaranteed a 90-plus. So, look, he's not the most durable bloke going around, and he's a player that I did promise I'd actually never go near ever again from 2019, where he did burn me to an absolute crisp. But the thing is, I trade him in with 5 or 6 rounds to go, and the risk kind of lowers at that point. So, I think it's fine from here. And we've got a bit of coverage. Henry, he kicked 2 goals and looked at home. He's not the best scorer, it has to be said, but look, if you kick 2 goals for Collingwood, who they don't look good at all, I think he will keep playing. There are other guys who probably get drops before him. We've got Reeves at R3 cover, and we've got Bianco who can sort of flip in between defence and midfield. And he was in defence covering for Whitfield, but this week, and probably for the next 3 or 4 weeks, that agonises me to say that, but it looks like Bianco is going to be covering for Josh Kelly, who, so disappointing. What are the odds? I mean, what are the odds of that happening? And super disappointing, it has to be said. But that's the team for 2021. Out of trades, not really a whole lot more to talk about. We'll have a look at the fixture. I think it's a no-brainer to go with a Steele. VC Steele. I'm not going to deny this guy anymore. We have to give him the respect he deserves. He's an out-and-out superstar, this bloke. And I think Bontempelli's going to win the Brownlow. I've said that a couple of times, but Jack Steele's coming in red hot at the moment. So, I don't mind him, and I'll just captain, probably who plays pretty ordinary teams. We'll go Bontempelli. Steele Bontempelli, can't really go wrong, I don't think, but I've said that previous weeks, and it has only gone wrong. But this is it for 2021. A lot of things that I have learnt this year, and I'll ramble on a little bit more in tomorrow's Swordplay podcast. But for now, I'll leave it here. I won't ramble on anymore. I think the viewers are going to drop quite dramatically as well at this point of the season. No one really cares, but look, make sure you do tune into that podcast, because it's not really that serious with Supercoach. It's just a bit of banter and something to listen to as white noise if you want. But Dio and I have a bit of laugh on a Tuesday night, and we don't mind it. But for now, guys, hope you're doing really well, and most of you are doing better than I am. Look, my leagues have been pretty shocking, so it's a competitive year this year and plenty to take out of it. And for now, I'll see you guys in the next video.